Hi, today we're going to review how to assemble an Eco Wine Rack's lower rectangular bin kit. The world's only wine rack kits made from renewable materials that come standard with clear, low VOC, water-based lacquer finish. Eco Wine Racks are the industry's easiest and quickest racks to assemble and the only ones that do not use unsightly screws or nails for assembly. The only time you need screws or nails when working with our kits is to fasten them to the wall or to adjoining racks or cabinets. Now, lower rectangular bin kits are 3 feet tall and are available in 3 widths: 2-column, 4-column, and 8-column. In this exercise, we'll be assembling a 4-column lower rectangular bin rack. Let's review the components in this 18-inch rectangular bin kit. First of all, there are 2 end ladders. There are 2 floor spacer bars. These are wider bars with 1 hole at the top edge on each end. There are 6 spacer bars. There are a narrower bar with holes at each end. We have 8 rectangular bin slats. They're wider pieces with no holes in them. And finally, there are 2 metal mounting clips for fastening the rack to the wall. In addition to these components, you'll need to provide a bottle of white glue, a soft rubber mallet, and a power drill. To begin the assembly process, we'll set one of our ladders aside. And I'd like to show you a little bit about this ladder. First of all, it has a wide notch at one end, followed by 3 narrower notches going up the ladder. This is where the floor spacer bar will attach, and these are where the normal spacer bars will attach. In each one of these positions, there is a nylon connector pin, which is going to be made up with the hole that is in one of the spacer or floor spacer bars. This is what actually connects the entire rack together. In addition, on these cleats, there are slots, which are where our rectangular bin slats will be located. So, before we actually do the assembly, we have to put some glue on our connectors. So I'm going to put 3 spacer bars and 1 floor spacer bar together. I'm going to put a generous drop of glue in each one of these holes. And this wood glue will, once it hardens up, will really grab a hold of both the bamboo and the nylon connector, giving you a really, really strong connection point, and you won't have to worry about screws or nails in your rack. Okay, I've got these glued up, so I'm going to place these spacer bars and floor spacer bars approximately the same width as the rack notches, and I simply align the pin over the hole in the spacer bar and press down. If you get any resistance when you're doing this, please stop and pull it out and take a look, because if you don't have the pin exactly aligned over these spacer and floor spacers, you could bend the pin over and break it off, which will make your installation a lot more complicated. So we're going to take this rack and we're going to put the cleat on the inside, floor spacer at the bottom, and align it over our rack. And press down. You need to give it a little tap. Next, we're going to attach the spacer bar and floor spacer bars to this surface. Before we begin, there are 2 ways that you can put these racks together. One way is a standalone unit where this rack will not be attached to anything else. It's just going to sit on the floor and be its own individual rack. In that case, we're going to put a floor spacer bar and 3 spacer bars on the rack. That's what we'll be doing in this exercise. However, if you're planning on attaching this rack to one of our upper racks, say an individual bottle or a revealed display rack, you do not want to put the spacer bar on the topmost position. You'll want to leave this free so that we can connect this rack to the upper rack. But again, for this exercise, this is a standalone unit, so we're going to fully assemble it. Again, we're going to start with our glue. Apply a generous drop in each hole. And if you spill a little bit of this glue, since it's wood glue, it's water soluble, take a wet rag, wipe it off, and you'll never even know it was there. Okay. We're all glued up. Going to align our floor spacer bar over the pins, followed by these other spacer bars. And then we're going to stand the rack up, take our rectangular bin slats, slide them into the slots. This is designed to add some rigidity to the rack so that you don't get racking from side to side. Two up on top. That's a really sturdy rack, and that's all there is to assembling a lower rectangular bin. We're going to combine a lower rectangular bin with a reveal display rack. The lower rectangular bin, during assembly, the topmost front spacer bar was not attached to the rack. The same is true on the reveal display rack. The bottommost front spacer bar was not attached to the rack. These are going to be used as our main contact points. Those contact points are going to be joined with this join strip, which was provided in the reveal display kit. What we're going to do is we're going to take our white glue and we're going to put a single drop in the two bottom holes. That will be for the rectangular bin. And then we're going to put drops of glue in each of the holes on the other side of the joint strip. Next, since we have glue in these two spots, we're going to attach the joint strip to the rectangular bin and just simply press it in place. Next, we take our reveal display rack, position it over the rectangular bin, and gently pull it forward until the pins engage with the rack, like that. Once this is accomplished, you'll want to either put a few small nails or screws to attach these two spacer bars together. It'll just tighten up this connection, so when you're against the wall, it's going to be a nice firm fit. If you're going to put nails in, some really fine brads, be sure to pre-drill the holes to prevent the spacer bars from splitting, or if you've got a micro pin nail gun, this is a good place to just put two small pins in there, and that should do the trick. Once your rack is completely assembled and the glue has had time to dry and harden in the holes, it's now time to mount the rack to the wall. Now we provide two of these metal clips which are intended to go right over the spacer bars. So if you have a stud wall, you want to find the studs, mark them on the wall, and then place these metal clips in a place where they align with the studs and put a screw right into that stud. If you're going into drywall, you can use a drywall anchor to hold it in, although it's probably not the most secure way to do it because drywall can fail. And then if you're going to some sort of a masonry block wall or concrete wall, you need to use a concrete anchor with the same application of this clip anywhere that you have that anchor hole. But with this attached, the rack will be securely attached to the wall.